So anyway, the West Australian Cross-Industry Mentoring Programme. So in this presentation, we'll talk about why a cross-industry mentoring programme, what it is, WACIMP in itself, and who would be best placed to be part of the programme. And then there's a few other kind of key points based on conversations I've been having with people around this and questions they're asking. And then there's an open question. So firstly, well, you know about next level mentoring, so I won't spend too long on this one. Based in Perth, I was country manager for an oil and gas service company and global ops manager. And next level mentoring, we're helping companies develop mentoring programs. And we're also helping individuals find or become mentors. We're developing this mentoring community. So our purpose is helping unlock people's potential through mentoring. And our vision is everyone has a mentor and is mentoring someone else. So as I explained to you before, that kind of mentoring continuum, there's always somebody ahead of you that you could learn from. And there's always someone behind you that you could help grow. Yeah. Okay, and specifically for companies themselves, when it comes to mentoring programs, there's 4 key elements to a mentoring program for it to be successful. It needs to be simple. Really, lots of people have a nasty habit of overcomplicating everything they do. They throw in something else and something else, and wouldn't this be great? Like I've had people talking to me about, wouldn't it be great that we could do people's kind of profiling, such as TMP or that? Can we do that? And then we start to, and it's all these things are great ideas, but they just overcomplicate a program, which in its essence is putting 2 people together, 2 adults together, and letting them go on a mentoring journey. And whatever that journey is for them is unique to them.
100%.
Yeah. And we make programs that are effective. We don't want to overcomplicate it and overburden the participants, but there's got to be a little element of structure potentially, you know. So with companies, why are you having a mentoring program in the first place? Get down to the why you want to have one, rather than, oh, we'll just have a mentoring program. What are you hoping to achieve from it? Because that will then drive who you're going to be, your participants in the program, and what you want to be saying to them. On top of that, effective means we give tools, templates, and trainings to both the mentors and the mentees, such that when they have their first session together, they're already hitting the ground running. They know what they're doing. And each session after that, it doesn't just fizzle out. Sustainable is the ability to, I've heard of programs that have failed in the past because the person running it has left the company. And they go, well, that person was running it, we don't have time to do it. Sustainable is it goes hand in hand with simple, but it's just going, this is the program, this is how we set it up. So anybody can run with it. And then the final part, which gets missed a lot, is also making it engaging, making it fun for the participants, making them want to be there and then want to tell people about it. Because that's how you develop a culture of mentoring. You have your first cohort, they go through it, they then tell their peers, oh, went on this great program, it was really fantastic. They then want to be part of it. The cycle starts, and before you know it, you have a culture of mentoring in your company. So why a cross-industry mentoring program? So when I was at DNV, the Norwegian company, I got into their mentoring program, and they did really good things for their leaders, really good leadership development. I really benefited a lot from being in that, working in that company. But when I was doing the mentoring program, I was speaking to the head of leadership development there, and he told me about this other program that they were running for their senior leaders. They called it Vanguard at the time. And it was for, it had several companies in there. I think Unilever was in there. I even believe Woodside I know was in there. But they had these global companies all part of it, different industries. And they're taking their senior leaders and they were doing this kind of mentoring program. And it was just, the principles behind it were fantastic. That ability of senior leaders to learn from other industries on similar levels, but to know how other industries are doing things, solving problems, because when you really distill it down, business and leadership, a large amount of it, it's the same problems that the industries are experiencing. And some industries do some parts better than others. So that program in itself was, you know, I asked the question, was it deemed a success? And they said, well, it was, again, a bit over complicated. You're flying people all around the world and a range of different speakers coming in and all that. It just started to overcomplicate it.
Mm-hmm.
But the principles again were great. So I was like, well, and it always stuck with me because I was thinking a little bit jealous I wasn't on the program. I just wasn't at that next level of seniority to be part of it. And setting up next level mentoring, I've always talked about this external mentoring option, and it's always interested people to go, oh, I'd like to know more about that. And so I went, okay, it's time actually, let's start up a cross-industry mentoring program. So that's what we're doing. So why? As I was kind of explaining it before to you, Crystal, it facilitates cross-pollination between industries. I don't think that happens a lot. There's a lot of leaders in companies who have just stayed with the company almost from start and worked their way up. So there's a lot they can learn from other industries, and vice versa. There's a lot of good things that those companies will be doing that other industries could learn from as well. It broadens the leader's business and leadership skills. And it'll just, in the simplest form, it allows leaders to understand how other industries work. And they then bring back that knowledge to your company, and your company then benefits from it as well. Suddenly, problems that you're trying to solve or strategic initiatives that you're thinking of rolling out or trying to do, these people can maybe bring back that and go, well, actually, this is how these industries did it, and this is maybe some of the problems they encountered about it, and we should maybe have a bit of a think around how we're going to do this. And every company is different, but I found that as you progress up the leadership, up the path from kind of first line managers, middle managers, senior managers, or leaders, of course, in this one, you start to kind of think, what can we give the next level for training, leadership development? So this is a means to offer those people a kind of unique leadership development, which helps companies retain those people as well in the organization. Because it's now more about well-being, and the reasons for being at work have changed beyond just salary and job security. Okay. So what is WACIMP? Yep, I'm not too sure with the acronym, but I'm just going to roll with it. The Western Australian Cross-Industry Mentoring Program. And so we're running it. We're going to run 2 pilot programs. The aim is one in the Q4 this year and a second one in Q1 next year. Now, due to personal reasons, maybe the Q4 one, we might just actually kick off 2 pilots in Q1 next year. Just depends on interest. A program itself should last about 7 months. That is, the timing on this one is, I want 6 months for the people doing the actual mentoring, where it'd be about 6 sessions as a minimum. And then the first month for setting up training of the participants, the matching of the people, and prep for the kickoff before that. So that's why 7 months is about. It's all based around having 6 sessions between the mentoring pairs. The companies are need to be WA based or have a strong WA presence. So there's a lot, of course, international companies here, but we're looking for a strong WA presence. And also with the size of the companies, just to ensure that there's a kind of similarity on how companies operate in a way, we're looking for companies larger than 200, 250 persons. Just because of the next slide, where we talk about who's best suited, it allows similarities, and there won't be disparities between someone coming in from a 10,000 strong company and someone coming in from a, 5 people, for example. Each pilot is up to 4 companies. It's 3 to 4 companies. And the companies in each pilot must be from a different industry. So there's an element of first come, first served in a way here. If I suddenly get a run of mining companies or mining service providers saying, oh, we'd like to be part of it, it is first come, first served on that part. The companies need to supply a minimum 3 mentors and mentees and a maximum of 5 mentors and mentees. And that part, I get asked quite a few times if you can supply can we only supply mentees? Is a question I've been asked several times. No. This one, to ensure that there's a good pool of both mentors and mentees, they've got to supply the same amount, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5. But on that, I want to reiterate, just in case it's not clear, that the mentors just learn as much as the mentees. So it's not, for the mentors, it's not one way. You're not putting your senior leaders, and they're just one way telling someone from a different industry that stuff. They'll actually go, well, how are you doing in your industry? And they're learning it back. So the mentors learn just as much as the mentees. That's the beauty of mentoring as well. You're targeting 2 groups of people and they're both learning from this one. The cost is 1,500 Australian dollars per participant. So same for the mentee and the mentors, but that covers everything. It covers the full running of the program, all the training. It covers the kickoffs and the mid-session catch-ups and the end of the closing ceremony as well, the attendance on them, including a closeout dinner for all participants on the pilot. So
that's 1,500 regardless if you're a mentor or a mentee?
Yes.
Because the mentors will be getting training and tools and stuff.
Exactly. All that as well. And each company will need to sign a service agreement. That service agreement is to cover anti-poaching, IP confidentiality parts. And in essence, we want companies coming in there feeling comfortable that their good people are not going to be senior leaders mentoring a really good middle leader and going, oh, they'd be great in our company, or something gets shared that they go, oh, we could do that. So it's just protection to the companies.
Yes.
In a way, Chatham House rules a little bit, but even a bit further than that, because Chatham House rules still allow you to share information. You're just not allowed to give names. This one's even further than that. It stays within the pilot. But of course, the lessons you learn, you want to be sharing in your company. So who would be best suited? This question is probably the most popular one I get asked. So in a way, mentees should have a minimum 5 years experience of leading people. And the mentors, should have a minimum 10 years in a leadership role, and they should be a minimum a middle management position. But this is probably best shown in this diagram. If you're looking at first line management, middle management, senior management in an organization, of course, every organization has it slightly different, but just for simplistic terms, the mentees we're looking at they'd be that upper line management, but preferably in middle management, and the mentors would be in the upper middle management bracket or in senior leadership. We just we want to make sure that to maintain the quality of the program, that the participants are being brought from these 2 areas. We don't want a case where a company brings in their CEOs and another company brings in someone who's never even had leadership experience. On that. And some other points that that I get asked about, as I mentioned in the first one, mentors learn just as much as mentees. So don't think that you want to just supply mentees and get the experience of learning from mentors. Second one, training is provided to both mentors and mentees. So another common question I get asked is, I've got some really good leaders, but they've never been trained as a mentor. And so for me, being a really good leader and having the experience is is really one of the most important parts. Becoming a mentor is actually quite easy from a training perspective. It's just giving it takes about an hour really for just making people realize what mentoring is and what it isn't, and some kind of key guidance on that part to give people the confidence to go into mentoring. The red thread throughout the program is business and leadership skills. That's what we're going to be covering in this one. But the best practice for this program is to let the mentoring journey, let the mentoring pairs take its own shape, go on their own journey. I have been asked a few times of going, oh, are we able to shape, we want our people to maybe specifically learn about something here and something there. Now you can talk to your own people that you're putting into the program and mention it, but from a program itself, business and leadership skills, but what that actually means to the mentoring pairs, and best practice is to leave that to the mentoring pairs.
Yeah.
Let them go on their own journey and work out what might be pressing for them at the time. And that's it. Yep, that's really in a nutshell what WACIMP is. If you want to know any more, you can go into our website, www.nextlevelmentoring.com.au/WACIMP.